What's up? What's up? This is Trader R coming to you with another update, carrying on from where you left off from the last time. There's a lot going on, to be honest. Especially today, we have the FOMC coming up, and Bitcoin's after blasting through the highs. So it's gonna be an interesting one today. We'll see what we can come up with and what plays. I have a brief idea of what I'm going to do, and what areas I am looking for today, to be honest. Especially with the FOMC, I always kind of look at like news events and stuff like that. If you're going up into these events, I'd be looking for like a buying opportunity, because usually the events give you a reversal, if you get me, So in this kind of case, Bitcoin is broken through the highs. I don't really want to be shorting it in a way. I don't want to be jumping in front of it, but if she comes down, I'd like to take a trade long, So mainly, I will be looking at the long side more or less than the short side. Because you don't really want to fight an uptrend, do you? But we'll see what happened anyway. Let's just recap of what we had before. If you all remember, this is the longer term plan I had, which was from, I don't know, back in October, I believe, where we're looking for this 5-wave move down, and then a nice straight move up for a lower high to drop down then to around 8k. I'm going to briefly talk about this because I still think this is very, very plausible. Do we get up as high as I'm expecting to go? Maybe not, maybe. We'll see. But the way the whole markets are looking and what's happening with all the banks and what's happening with Russia, what's happening now with China, they get now out of the trade deal with the US dollar, all of this stuff that's coming across, it's kind of looking like this could happen, it could still happen. So keep in mind, this plan I have here is still the plan I'm going for. So it could take another few months to come in, or even a year, but this plan is still solid, still going for it. We still have that long, up about 70% on it. But yeah, I'm looking to see if we can find a short back down, but I don't think that short is going to happen yet, in my opinion. Of course, you could say once you lose these range highs, yeah, you could be looking at a deviation, but I'd like more upside, to be honest. So after that plan, we had the fractal. If you remember the fractal, we had chopping up the highs, come down, fractal back up, and then the last update I was looking at was we had two scenarios. One was the bullish into kind of a bearish wave. We just come up and take the highs and just get a reaction off of the extension and the volume gap, which we did. Got a nice one here when we came up to it, so it was a valid enough level to give out 10% rejection off of it. Not much I'm going to be looking at it now. I'm going to delete it. And the bearish case was when we were at the highs up here. That was the last time I did a video. I was looking for this to come down, take the lows, deviate the lows, and then go up for our big straight move. Didn't get it, Got the move down. Got the move down to take the lows. The main reason I was looking at that was this, okay? It was this. Come into the TR pocket and hit that 0.5. That was my main short plan from up here. We got that long off the lows, but she didn't want to do it, She gave us a 5% reaction, which is, you have to look at both sides, You could get it wrong. What's your next plan after that, And she came down, she dipped down. Where she dipped down to? The TR extension, hit after the TR extension. If you go through the TR pocket, look at the extension, and the extension give you that straight move up into the other extension and back to the back test of the high, held that range high and moved up again. These fibs are powerful. They're just way too powerful, and the less people that trade them, the better for us. In PTL we use it every day. So what is the next plan now for me? Right, I'm actually going to roll up my sleeves here because this should be an interesting day today. Let's get rid of this. What is going to happen? So let's just relax a little bit and we'll see what's going on. Right. I just want to mark off these highs. I haven't that planned out yet. You know, I'm just going to do it all here with you and see where we're at with everything. So we've gotten. You do have the extension above that high. One thing I wanted to know earlier was, where's the 1-to-1 of this move on the log and linear? Because usually they're always the bigger levels. If you're in a bullish move up, especially as well, if this is going to be a correction, you expect it to go an equal leg of 1-to-1, and if the correction's over, it could just stop it at 1-to-1. So that zone is around 29,300. Alright, this area here is actually a fairly big SR zone right now. Has to be held on at least a daily. If you can get a daily close above that and hold it, that would be a good sign of strength. If you go below it and close below it, getting weak, getting weak. One thing I will say is, one place and one opportunity I've been looking at is, let me just lock this. If we can get a dip below here, this is an area I'm just eyeing up. I'm kind of waiting to see if we get it, to be honest. We might not get it, but I can see this. We're literally just bouncing off of this trend line, holding it. Does she get a big move up, or during the FOMC does she get that? That's kind of one thing I'm looking at. I would love that scenario, because let me show you. Alright, you know the way I like my wicks. You have a wick at 26,130, right? And then you have another one at 28,700 pretty much. Which is interesting, because 26,130 would be just down here. Take these lows out and then maybe go for a move up. Personally, I'd like this to go down first, because if you come down, you leave that other wick to the upside, you have more of an excuse to long that low up into that wick, if you get me. So, and especially the 1-to-1 being right there too, it gives it like a more of a better range to trade, if you get me. And I always play the longer side than the short side. I'd be feeling more comfortable longing if it dropped down than I would shorting if it went straight up, because it could just keep going, I'd rather play the long side because it's more safer. Especially, I've been throwing off my trade log for the last week inside in Pro Traders Lounge, and literally, and every loss I had was just shorting the trend. It was pretty much shorting the trend, all the losses from that trade log. And the way as well, I've noticed traders to be showing off their wins the whole time instead of their actual trade log. A trade log will have all your wins and losses from that day, or every day that you had it, but most of them just show off all the wins they had. So an interesting thing to see. If you want to see that, it's in the lounge inside in general chat. Just look it up. Had a one for every single day. I did take a break one of the days doing it though. So I do like this idea. Alright, I do like this idea. Let me just check the pivots as well. I've noticed that the pivots have gone a bit wonky, mainly because the tickers have changed on a lot of these exchanges. So you have to go in and change the tickers in the point scripts, and it'll do it for you. Let me just go on to this because it'll be faster. I don't have time for you waiting around for this. There we go. Yeah, so you have weekly pivots underneath that liquidity, And what did I say? 26,130 was the wick. So if you were actually going to go like this, looks like an ascending triangle, doesn't it? Interesting. Because FOMC, you could just get something like this, bang, bang, bang. But the main place I'll be interested in is along from underneath these lows, I must say, because I just don't want to be long in any other spots. You could be just long the trend if you wanted to, which is fine, but for me, I'd rather wait for the better trade. And to be fair, it could just go just keep going and then come down and get that at some later stage, because I do feel this area will get ran at some stage, because there's a nice bit of liquidity under those lows when I looked at the hyper blocks. So it's an interesting zone for sure. Let's go and leave it there for now, and we'll see what else we can come up with. I've noticed as well, like the higher time frame range we're at, right? You bounced off the TR pocket at the low, but what do I always say when you get no real reaction off of the other side? You go for the extension. So the extension for me is going to be the bigger long-term play. I'm going to put one to lower time frame, which will be that long underneath the lows, but the other one will be the higher time frame play I'll be looking at. Let me just hide this for now, which will be off the extension, which is around here. Okay, you'll have two extensions. Well, that is still a good zone though, mainly because it's the 1-to-1. We're in the TR pocket now, but the reaction is not the greatest. What you want to see is a bounce straight away, but we don't have that right now. So that is a nice zone, I must admit. You're going to have two zones here, because I don't like the way we have the extension not taking that liquidity, if you get me. But the 1-to-1 is right on top of it, and I can't ignore the 1-to-1. But I must admit, let me just run this again. Let's zoom out again. Alright. Let's just mark this down. Always have to get these exactly on. Right. Volume gap. Let's get rid of this. This will be the higher time frame play now. You know, this is kind of the area I'll be looking for, maybe a swing short. To kind of go with from range low to range high. To be fair, you do have a big area right above you. That TR pocket's right there, the bigger one. Lots of levels above you. You know, it's interesting to see what the FOMC will do, which he push right through these, which will give you the better heads up there, and it's not going to happen there. And you're going to go for the extension, or just you come down first and then go for it. Let me just remove this for 2 minutes, and we'll remove this. Right. It's a big volume gap right there, to be fair. It's around here to here. What do I want on it? Yeah, that's about it. Let's get rid of that now. Don't need it. Volume gaps are important. You know, they are important. If you looked at the volume gaps on this move down, you just tapped up one right at the very low there. It was good confidence with that extension. So they are important to be looking at. Okay. Two zones, you know, two important places. This is definitely my higher time frame zone. It's just what is there? Point of control of this range. It's the point of control of this range. Right on top of each other. And that's right on top of it. Okay. Let's just get the whole thing. Oh, is that the point of control of this hole? No, it's a bit higher. Okay, that makes it good. If it was too obvious, I probably wouldn't pull it, but since it's not the point of control of the whole range, and it is only of this part, I kind of like this level. It's not obvious, if you get me, so everybody's not really looking at it. So POC coming in there. I like this now for a higher time frame. Pull back zone, potentially. Grab all this liquidity, 32k into that volume gap, hit that TR extension. This will probably be the first area I'd be looking for a higher time frame reversal. I could be completely wrong. We get back inside this range, but you know, this is the area I'd be looking for at least a pit stop on Bitcoin at the very least. Let's get that other play up. Yeah, we have a pit stop in there too on the higher time frame run play too. But the thing is, like, do we get up where I was thinking we were going to go? We don't need to. Let's just see. Elliott wave standpoint. If we get 1 to 1, it's in that zone. Let's go to the TR pocket. TR pocket's in that zone on the extension tool too. So interesting zone, alright. I do like this level for a first one. I do like this level for hard time from short. HCF. Alright. And let's get back to the actual long that I was going to go for. As well, if you all like this kind of videos that I'm doing, you know, I'm not coming in with a plan. I'm coming up with a plan on stream. Drop a like. It doesn't cost you anything. It just helps out the channel and shows that I'm doing the right thing, basically. And give us a comment and some feedback if you can. It always helps. I read them all, to be fair. So back to where I was going. If we got a drop today, I will be looking for a long underneath this liquidity. The only thing is, I need something. I need something down there. Okay, and then we had that wick at, let me think again. It was 26,130. I'll be marking this out. 26,130. 26,130 will be down here. I'm just gonna mark it out for back end support, I suppose. Usually you want to see them get filled before actually going for your trade, but I just wanted to see where it is, because it could be different on this, because this is USDT, and I think, is this USDT? It's Tether USD. Okay, yeah, it's the same. Okay, it's pretty much the same, but you'd want to watch the two of them. So if Kraken's coming into the lows, it could easily be taking that, and then over in this one the price could be $100 higher, so it'll be different. Yeah, but still we're going to mark it out anyways. Kraken wick. I think there's too much red on the chart, to be honest. I don't know if I like this kind of pull. What is the volume gaps like? Okay, you do have a nice one there, to be fair. You do have a nice one here. It's a bit deep. And then you have another one here, but must admit I kind of like this. I kind of like the upper one, to be honest with you. What's it like, a linear? It's a really nice support zone. You'll have this one for backup then. Interesting. Could I see this dropping down? I could see it because FOMC, if you get me, it could actually just break that trend line that I was showing you at the beginning, and it's straight down for that liquidity. There's so much liquidity built up underneath these lows, it can go right through it and just have a little capitulation. Like, the best thing to really do is just wait for it to come. If it does happen, wait for it to come down, and once it starts to buy back up, that's when I would get an entry, rather than try and snipe the lows, because it could keep going, and then you're in another trade and you took a loss, another trade, another loss, so I'd wait for the least. Let's say if it came down and it got back up, this place here would be your activation zone, or a flip of, let's say, the TR extension. It's two real regions. Once you backtest that, that's if she dips right too, or backtest that as support and you turn that into an SR zone like that did there. But ultimately, if that did come down, I'd be looking for straight back up to the highs again. Mainly, my main target is that this wick here, higher time frame. Why? Because these wicks get filled all the time. Wick here, filled. Wick here, filled. The rest were normal wicks. These were abnormal wicks. Filled. This one up here is at 31k, and I'm looking for 32k. So another confluence really for the upside. You don't have any really to the downside at the moment, but it's just guidance for me, really, for guidance for upside. So technically, I would be probably long in this low to 32k if that was going to happen. But yeah, that's really it, isn't it? I have the higher time frame place where I want it to reverse, and then we have the lower time frame support zone. Let me put it in. Lower time frame support play. And to be honest, these will be the zones that I am going to be trading. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.